These young Namibians are fed up. Tens of thousands have joined the youth movement Affirmative Repositioning, or AR for short. The group's protests have drawn the biggest crowd since the end of apartheid 28 years ago. Their demands to the government are clear: affordable housing with electricity, running water and sewage services.
People living on the street, no food, eating from the dustbins, and yes, we should be thankful, but soon we might not even have nothing. We might have nothing at all. And they have their steakhouse, they have their big houses, their expensive cars.
The protesters blame political corruption and mismanagement for a serious shortage of housing and land in Namibia. They say money has been wasted on housing schemes that did little to help the situation. To see the extent of the problem, you need to look no farther than the capital, Windhoek. As prices have continued to rise, more and more people have been forced into renting overpriced shacks on the outskirts of the city. Some say the problem is exacerbated by an influx of people from rural areas. Others believe Namibia is a safe haven for petrodollars from Angola and Nigeria, which pushes prices up. Across Namibia, an estimated 120,000 more housing units are needed in order to meet demand. Much of that demand is from young people.
I'm feeling bad because I almost pay half of my salary, so I don't get enough income.
It makes my life very difficult since I can't even afford anything else. I can't give back to the family, provide. My mom is back there in Okakarara at the village.
7 years ago, Pura Shiwana left her village in northern Namibia and came to study in Windhoek. Unable to afford city prices, she rented a shack farther out in the Katutura township. The name Katutura translates from the local Herero language as the place where no one wants to live, and it's not hard to see why.
I just found my door open and everything was gone in the house. So somebody break in and stole my things. That's why, as you can see, this thing is like this.
This is not exactly what Pura imagined for herself when she made the decision to come to Windhoek. But decent, affordable housing is in short supply. Anything more central would simply be too expensive. She feels as if the country's government forgets people like her.
It's really hard in here. It's not fair. I mean, I'm 27, I was supposed to have my own place. The government is to be blamed. They don't want to look at people who have low incomes. They don't think of those people. They consider people with money. But us without money, we need also places. We need to have something that is of our own.
Around half of Pura's income from waitressing in the city goes towards her shack. Once she has paid the taxi fare to work, there's hardly anything left to get by on. George Kambala is one of the founders of the AR movement. He was born and grew up in Katutura. Kambala used to be part of the leadership of the ruling party's Youth League, but in 2014 he was expelled from the party for occupying a plot in an upmarket Windhoek suburb. Now, along with his fellow AR protesters, he continues to be a thorn in the government's side.
300 to 400,000 people staying in Windhoek itself. And out of this, around about 70% of these people are staying in shacks. And since independence, in 1990, the municipality has not serviced any area in the local, in the low-income earning group. They've only serviced urban in the upper market, in the upper middle class sectors. So now, should I imagine now, if this group of young people that are disadvantaged are moving out of the low income group into the middle class, there is no room for them. There's no land for them to access. They're forced to go into rentals. they're forced to go into shacks, not because of the choice, but because that's the only option that's there.
Kambala says city officials are more interested in short-term profits than making up the shortfall in social housing. From a purely financial perspective, it's easy to see why. Most vacant land in Windhoek belongs to the city, and selling land for building is an important source of revenue. Building roads, electricity networks, and sewers for new housing is expensive. It is far more lucrative to invest in these services for plots of land that can be sold for more money. Emmanuel Paulus is the Windhoek councillor responsible for providing land for development. He shows us one of the city's pilot projects, which he says will help young people who are struggling with the housing crisis. The plan is for 330 new houses to be built here, and people under 30 will apparently get first dibs.
What we are promising is to say, from our side, we are going to go as far as we can and make land available to our residents, those who doesn't own land, and especially young people. Young people, young graduates, we are going extra mile. And by going that extra mile, that's why we have passed a council resolution of saying in whatever land is going to be sold in Windhoek from now on, there is a portion to be awarded to young people.
On paper, the plan sounds positive, but this is hardly going to be a neighborhood for the average Namibian. Land prices start at 30,000 euros. That's out of the question for most people here. We also find out that the municipality is currently not servicing land in informal settlements like those in Katutura. But Councillor Paulus assures us that such projects are in the pipeline. Perhaps that's a small consolation for Pura, who still hasn't given up hope of one day owning her own home.
I would love to have a place where I'm access to water, that I don't have to go out there and go far to fetch water, and a place where I'm access to clean toilet. So I hope by that time every person under 30, they have their own lands, or they are able to have their own access to electricity and water of their own, that they belongs to them.
It doesn't look like property prices here will be falling anytime soon, but Pura and her friends are already planning what their dream house would be like. Modest, dignified, and most importantly, something all of their own.